How's it going? My name is Tanmay and with me is Khamba. Khamba, say hello.
Hello.
And this is the pilot episode, Khamba. This is the pilot episode
Yes, absolutely.
of All India Bakchod, which is the really random name that we've given our podcast. Khamba, why are we calling it this?
This is the most random name we could come up with, and it's to give you a touch of retro nostalgia as we talk about contemporary issues that are plaguing the nation in this 21st century.
Right. So essentially what's going to happen in this episode is we're just going to talk about random things that happened in the last week. Hopefully discuss the comedy scene as well, because since Khamba and me are both comics, and get a guest on the show if we can, if somebody is willing to come.
Exactly.
And hopefully, if you guys hear this, please do give us feedback at the end of the episode. This is our first episode. It's a pilot episode. A lot will change over time, hopefully. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it a fair number of times. And hopefully, I will stop saying fucking hopefully.
Yes, and on that note, we must caution you that there is a fair bit of cussing on this episode.
Yes.
So if you have your kids around you, don't worry, they probably already know the words.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucks. There's a lot of fucking.
There's a couple of bakchods already.
So let's begin. What happened last week, Khamba? Let's begin with the most interesting of them all.
The IIT sperm story.
Why are you sounding so serious?
I just masturbated.
So the IIT sperm story. And then we can, apparently, a couple put an ad in the papers saying that they would like sperms of an IIT donor, somebody who's intelligent, smart, healthy, with no bad habits.
Also tall and fair. Have you seen anyone tall and fair in IIT? And it was from IIT Madras. Sorry, being a racist asshole. But listen, please.
And I think
Why the fuck would you want an IITian sperm?
more importantly, to be fair, if you want fucking sperm, IITians would be the way to go. Who else is fucking
No, like then you will have to extract it out of their fucking keyboards and shit, because there will be none left inside their fucking penis, dude. How are you gonna get it? You're like, oh damn it, just ran out of supply today as well. Fucking 5 minutes late you came.
My point is, how did they reach the figure of 20,000? Like, how do you put the fucking... And in my head, I start doing the math. So if there are 2 million sperms, okay, it comes down to essentially like 0.003 paisa per
See,
sperm.
this is why you're an asshole. Because now you're looking at it in terms of a comic. Oh, I will do 30 minutes. So for 30 minutes, I will charge 30,000. So 1,000 rupees for 1 minute. Are you fucking putting money on sperm? They're in millions. Fuck up millions. But listen, how will a couple... Why not, for example, why an IIT sperm, not an IIM sperm?
Why not an IIPM sperm? Why not an Arindam Chaudhary sperm, dude?
Dude, you will only get it in like Silchar in Assam.
Yes.
Fucking, you will have to travel
with
all
sperms,
those.
you get like a laptop, shit free with the fucking sperm and like...
No, man. That's...
No, one second. An IIPM sperm is almost as good as an IIM sperm, man.
It's almost as
It's
good.
almost that good.
Yeah, it's...
Think beyond B schools.
It's that sperm is number 1 in global exposure.
Global exposure.
That sperm has seen Shah Rukh Khan perform at every festival and perform at quiz. Notice how you're not laughing anymore.
Bastard.
No, it's okay. Inside joke, nobody will get it.
Nobody will get it.
No. That's wrong. So, but doesn't this make you like feel bad as a BMM graduate? how much money do you get for a
Nobody ain't
BMM?
looking for my sperm.
How much will you get? Like $5?
$5, yeah, probably. Like
That also will depend, no? From
yeah, really, like if I haven't gone for a week, then maybe I'll get $6 for it, just because for the sheer number of sperms.
which is still left inside.
Yeah. So one more thing that happened this week was quite big. Actually, I at least followed it in quite detail. Bollywood Gandu account got hacked by a guy called Anand Abagnale.
What the fuck? Like, that's a little scary in the sense because there was this rumor which happened like a week before, because there was somebody who made like this fake account with the L. There was basically an I instead of an L. So you thought it's the same person.
Yeah.
Kept spreading news around that I've hacked this account, I've hacked this account.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, it's a little scary in terms of why
It's probably scary for you because you have actual shit in your DMs. Like if someone hacks my fucking DM, all he'll know is like, this guy fucking said, hey, kitne gande tweet maar raha hai. Just shit like really gay shit.
basically just bitching other people out when they make a dirty tweet.
Just like, hey dude, why you fucking saying shit about comics and this? It'll just be really emo fucking sad fucking tweets that they'll find.
No, but I personally, when I heard about this, I thought this is some like Bollywood fucking controversy.
Yeah.
To get this, I thought Arjun Rampal was behind
Was
this.
fucking behind this.
He was just.
It was maybe like a love to hate you viral, like a digital campaign or something like that.
Dude, it's a little sad that we're mentioning that show because more people hear about the show now than have otherwise seen in its entirety. Fucking nobody has seen that show.
It was a really funny thing. So essentially, the show format is very simple. This fucking Haiti comes and just says, the hater comes.
I
and
can't
says,
get over the fact that you give me Haiti. Yeah.
So hater comes and just says shit, and then at the end of the episode, they do a activity where they bond. And here's the best part. Okay, when the Srishant hater came on the show,
There was a Srishant.
there was a Srishant hater, okay, which is, I thought there'll be like 50 people on it, but it was just one guy. But there was a Srishant hater on the show, and their activity to bond was they played cricket. But when Vinod Kambli's hater came on the show, their activity was dancing. And I was like, these both are cricketers. They both played for India, but one's this
Both of them cry like little bitches,
Bitches,
at the drop of a
Yeah,
hat. But it's a little sad, yeah. The difference is that Vinod Kambli has a super hot wife, so we can't fucking. So he's like just showing everybody the finger. He's like, fuck you. You thought I cried? That emo bullshit got me this hot wife because she connected with me on an emotional level. And shit like that. That was some bullshit.
And besides that, Sachin never did anything for me. Yeah, like you don't understand.
That's just ridiculous.
So Bollywood Gandu.
Yeah, but what, like, did it scare you when it happened? Because, like, I got scared in the sense that anyone's account can be just fucking hacked so easily.
It scared me a little bit, but more than scared, I was just fucking pissed off. I was pissed off that this guy had not just hacked the account. And like sometimes, like if it was then my first thought, well, like you said, you thought it was a film controversy.
Yeah.
My first instinct was this is definitely not done by a film star, because honestly, if it was a film star who fucking got someone to fucking hack it, it would have been hacked, it would have been done for, and it would have been ended there. But this fucker went on to say, hey guys, so check it out. So I fucking hacked this account. I am saving Bollywood. And just when those type of tweet came out, I was like, this is just some fucker doing this for some fucking
Saving
attention.
Bollywood. Who the fuck needs to save
Bollywood?
Bollywood has destroyed the fabric of fucking your culture. Everything is fucking Bollywood. The modeling industry, they destroyed.
What sort
Music,
of, this
they
is like
destroyed.
the most niche superhero ever. Like, just the most niche superhero. Like, hey, Katrina, I'm going to save you from this one guy who's tweeting to you from his own house. Aren't you fucking glad?
Yeah, she lived with fucking Salman Khan in his house for 1 year. He could have run over her with his SUV whenever he wanted.
No, but they need saving from this one fucking tweeter. Like,
But it was so. Are you? But the fun. But it was really cool that in 3 days, whoever you
Yeah,
all the
that
fucking-
was very
dude,
cool.
Dude managed to get the account back. That was
very
fucking
cool.
hilarious.
I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Like, I fucking love Bollywood Gandu. I think it's fucking hilarious.
He's damn funny.
I feel like the essence of Gandu has been really captured by Bollywood Gandu. His name is not Bollywood nice guy. His name is not Bollywood bitchor. His name is Gandu. That's what a Gandu does. At any point, it's like, you know what, if you're having a conversation, if you just fucking come out and say, hey, by the way, do you know fucking I got this movie out? Only a Gandu will turn that statement against you. Will like, oh, but you fucking can't act. And your first response is, hey, sala
Itna kitna
Gandu.
Gandu hai,
Like, itna kitna Gandu hai. I feel like Bollywood Gandu generally captured the essence of Gandu. So anyway,
To continue on the Bollywood Gandu bit, another thing I've noticed a lot of people now saying, oh man, and I've noticed there's a lot of people, oh man, he's not funny anymore. What do you think about this? Because I get really pissed off when people use this phrase.
look, not all Gandus are funny. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes a Gandu can just be a fucking Gandu.
Yeah,
Like, he
you just
doesn't
wanna
have to
beat
be.
the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
So eventually, even after apparently I was following the fucking timeline. I was saying that Anand Abigail eventually had a conversation with Cricket Gandu. On Twitter. Yeah. So I'm assuming that there's the same fucking account or whatever.
I hope so. I don't know.
yeah.
Whatever, but whoever, the account got back.
No, so
and the
anyway-
best thing is after the account got back, just started doing the same shit as if nothing happened.
as
just
nothing
fucking
happened.
around over
Which I thought was fucking genius and fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
And
man, 3
did you
days
see all the blog posts? Whoever this fucking guy is running Bollywood Gandu, I think he's fucking hilarious. Because all the first thing that he did, if you followed the entire saga,
I noticed some of it, yeah.
no,
Not all of it.
where the second the account got hacked, okay, whoever this Bollywood Gandu is, he or she still had access to the account from their mobile device or whatever.
Oh,
from a third
okay.
party app.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Bollywood Gandu, I find this so fucking hilarious. The first tweet that he made was, my penis is so small that I actually pee on my balls, like quote Anand Abigail. Which I thought was, again, when I read it, I was like, what a fucking Gandu. Like, this is what a Gandu would do. Not like coming on this thing like, who the fuck is
Fuck
that?
is
No,
my
like,
account.
hey, tera lunch hota hai. Like, it's essentially that. That's what I fucking love about Gandu.
That was very funny, yeah.
That was fucking hilarious.
But
Even
are you going to be careful now with your account?
Yeah. I actually, I had this one, I get very scared. I'm a fucking noob that way. Like, whenever I get these links from fucking these phishing links or whatever,
Yeah.
if I click a link and I feel like this is fucking fishy, I have a very noob response to it. Like, I will restart my PC and like delete all the icons from my desktop and just fucking do weird shit that has got nothing to do
Are
with
you
actually
one of
happening.
those people, if you get like a fake link, you think it's just a random woman just sending you pictures of vagina and shit? You think now on some level?
I'm not fucking
Not
16
that-
anymore,
okay.
man.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
anymore.
shouldn't have let that out. Fuck, this is totally backfired shit. Anyway, don't send me those links again, man. Fucking ridiculous. Just in case I get hacked.
Come back.
Is that your response?
That is my response.
Okay, whatever. Okay, let's move on.
So, did you hear? Oprah Winfrey's coming to India! I read a story today that said that the Bachchans are supposed to play host to Oprah, and I read the funniest fucking tweet that Jai Hind made. I thought it was just fucking hilarious. So in case those who missed the tweet was essentially जब भारत में आम आदमी के बच्चे पैदा होते तब हिजड़े लोग आते हैं उसे देखने के लिए. जब बच्चन के बच्चे पैदा हुए तो ओपरा विनफ्री आ रही है उसे देखने के लिए. I just thought that was fucking hilarious, man.
I was reading these reports about Beyonce's baby, last week. And that was ridiculous because he
Yeah.
had to just basically buy over the whole fucking floor. Right? And then 5 minutes after the baby was born, they're having like a party and shit. And like rap music is playing in the back. And, like,
एक मैं और एक तू है.
fuck off. What is your take on this women becoming mothers and then not getting those roles and shit? Do you think it'll affect Aishwarya Rai? Why am I asking such a heavy question? I have no fucking idea why I'm asking that.
And the sad part is, in my head, my first response was fucking good for Kareena, man. I don't fucking know. Good for Kareena, dude. Whatever, she got the book. No, like, also from Aishwarya's perspective, like it must have been such a dilemma. Like the two sides of it is, do I want a baby or do I want to do this Madhur Bhandarkar film? It's essentially that. Which of these do I need more badly
Yeah.
in life right now?
But do you think like after that Kareena Kapoor's getting grief? Or like actually Saif Ali Khan will be getting grief, no? From
Yeah.
बेंचो अभिषेक ने भी कर लिया.
कर लिया
तो ही
है.
बैठा हुआ है,
तू
पता
कब
नहीं
कर रहा
टैटू
है?
करा रहा है, बेंचो बच्चे नहीं निकल रहे, बस टैटू कराई जाओ.
इतना छोटा नवा पे तेरा मतलब.
Oh god.
Very bad.
You think Saif Ali Khan went and painted the baby's room in Abhishek Bachchan's house with like Dulux buckets?
Him and Sohali Khan
Pearl.
just doing this thing.
Hey, don't make fun of Saif Ali Khan, man.
Why
She was
lie?
dating Konal Khemu, for fuck's sake. That's
She's
a
not,
joke in itself.
she wasn't. She's still dating him.
That's a little sad. Actually, I feel bad for them the most. I don't know why.
I don't know who I feel bad for. More bad for. Like,
I don't know. Actually, I never thought she was hot. I always thought the
I thought
nose
she was
was
cute or whatever.
She was cute, but the nose would always get
yeah,
in the
the
way.
nose will always get in the way.
Like it's probably the only nose where if you want to like kiss her, it's already at a fucking angle.
yeah, it's the
So you don't know.
anti-Voldemort nose essentially. It's the anti-Voldemort.
Auntie, okay, fuck. This is a
Never
bad
mind.
pun.
Yeah,
Turning
just
into
like
Ramesh. We just meta in
But I'm
terms
just
of.
going to say something that's really horrible, yeah. But a little part of me wants to know what the baby looks like.
Really? Why the fuck do you care?
Just, I don't know
You
why.
think-
There's
no,
just
but-
a little part of me who like, what? No, the thought comes from, yaar, what are you hiding? It's that. Like, what the fuck are you hiding? Like, it's that. So, what were we talking about? Oprah. Oprah's coming
What
down.
the fuck happened to Oprah?
What is she coming to the Lit Fest for? Like, has she come out with a book now or what is it?
No, I think they were just trying to get her for a couple of years. The thing is, I don't know, okay, it's a little embarrassing that I know this, but Oprah, when she had her show in the US, she had this thing called the Oprah Angels Network and shit like that. And she was one of the people who ran the Oprah Book Club. So
Correct,
every week, basically, if you got a recommendation from Oprah, you basically had like a fuckload.
Everyone gets a recommendation. You get a recommendation. You get a recommendation.
You get a book.
You get
a book.
5 recommendations.
Can you? But that's the thing, no, that she made reading popular basically. She was basically
That's astounding. She's like the Chetan Bhagat of America.
Basically, that's exactly what I was going to say. So so it was a big deal. So I think they must be trying to get her. Maybe, I don't know what the philosophy of the Lit Fest is, but if they're getting fucking Kapil Sibal to recite his poetry.
That's
Dude, Kapil Sibal wrote a book of poetry. I was so happy when they said the Akash tablet project is destroyed.
that was
I'm like,
fucking
yes!
hilarious. I was like, yeah.
But it's ridiculous because a lot of people are still getting those tabs. So like, I think I'll buy it for like, because.
खरीद लेते ना यार.
2500 रुपए का
It's
एक
1
newsletter
meal at
है.
Indigo, yeah. It's essentially that.
Okay, I can't afford that. But posh comic and shit like that.
It's not
But no, but $2,500, man. You use it as a coaster, fucking like one MP3 player. You just give it to like a kid.
No, but I read this thing yesterday saying one of the reasons why it was shelved is because the company that was making it like they wanted the processor to get faster and shit. And the company that was making it essentially.
Yeah, it went from 366 megahertz to
760.
760. Ooh, fucking wow.
Now it'll do my calculations way faster.
Way faster, man.
दिन में सिर्फ 3 बार hang होगी 4 की जगह. Wow, this is amazing.
The fucked up thing is, after they sent 21 websites, and those are basically all the websites any Indian fucking accesses anyway. If you take away Google, Facebook, Orkut, Benchot karega kya wo tablet ka? What is he going to connect to the internet and do? What else is he going to do? Those are 21 websites. But Yahoo fucking Messenger is blocked and shit.
One more thing that I read was one of the other reasons why something about Reliance getting the 4G spectrum here, and Reliance is going to produce their own tablets, which is going to be almost as cheap
as that one.
As Akash.
But then we've already listen that 2 companies, Tata and Reliance, already combined our like some 5% of our GDP, dude. Just in terms of 2 very groups. So technically you've already sold. They control your fucking oil.
Yeah.
They control half your uranium. They can do whatever the fuck they want. You think 2500 रुपए की tablet नहीं निकाल सकते वो?
They'll come out with it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how much more do you want to empower farmers? Is all my question is to Reliance.
Dude, farmers have fucking like, what are you going to give them a tablet for? They don't need tablet. They have fucking 10 tons of grain fucking rotting there. You don't pick that up. It's fucking
Basically,
lying around.
If you think about Reliance, Reliance is the anti-Apple. Like essentially the anti-Apple. Like जो Apple कर रहा है उसका exactly they're doing the exact opposite. Where owning a tablet at one point used to be cool. I'm fucking like socially elite or whatever. Yeah. And Reliance is like, अच्छा you're socially elite. सबका पैसा अपना whatever कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में mother chode you fucking take this tablet.
No, they're assholes. You know why they're assholes? Because now with the fucking cost with the tablet, he can actually now see what the actual price of the grain he should be getting and is not getting. He's like, bencho 10 ton pada hua hai, I can't get
just just like track shot of like one camera going up from a hut and just that guy going, Sharad Pawar!
Yeah, you remember the Jerry Seinfeld shot? Jerry!
Yeah, essentially that. Like,
basically
Sharad!
It's a little depressing. Let's not make fun of farmers. Fucking dying and shit.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Really
take a 1 minute silence for that.
1 minute silence for that, please. So anyways, Oprah.
Actually, maybe Oprah can do something for farmers.
Yeah, maybe. Just buy everyone a new farm, dude. Or a new cow. Right, so one of the things that happened last week was the Top Gear thing, where, have you seen the episode, the Top Gear?
Obviously, like every other fucker, I streamed it illegally online. Did you find the actual act offensive? For example, the car, the toilet seat in the car in terms of, the joke was basically that everybody comes to India gets the runs.
Really not. I didn't find, because it's also very true. On some level, it's very true on some level. And
the thing is, we are assholes about it. Every time a Firang comes and has a bad stomach, like, हाँ बहनचोद खालियों की दाल इसकी फट गई.
No, it was really funny because I was watching that, okay, and mom was cooking dinner, okay, and my first thought was like, you know, if fucking Jeremy ate what my mom's cooking right now.
That's disgusting. Are you dissing your mom in front of other people?
No, but our food is spicy, man. White people won't fucking adjust to it. It's like when they come down to India, okay, and they fucking go to these beaches and they are pink. Alright, if they turn around and say, we are fucking pink, I won't be like, how dare you fucking say this about my country? The sun in my country is worse than the sun in your country. It's essentially that. But they can't handle it, so they can't handle it.
No, but I don't think that was offensive. No, people got offended with the fact that they went and took the car around through slums and shit.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
I'm sorry, but if you drive for half an hour in Bombay, at some point you will be driving through a fucking slum.
That is also true. I was actually fucking surprised. Like, which slum even has these roads where they manage to fucking take a Jaguar through? No, but I think there's a pattern. Like, if the thing is, every Indian wants a Firang to come down and validate our existence. I think we still every Firang, when it comes down, a journalist will ask 3 questions. What do you think about the women? You better fucking say that our women are beautiful and Indian. Yeah. What do you think about our food? Oh, it's the tastiest food. I fucking order it from takeout all the time, everywhere. Chicken tikka masala is awesome.
I love the spices that it's so colorful and it's so nice.
Yeah, if another Firang uses the word diversity and vibrance, now I will slap the shit out of the man. So same 2 fucking words every time. It's so diverse, there's so many colors. Oh my god, what the fuck?
Never met one Firang who fucking genuinely came and said, listen, you guys are fucking economically powerful and shit, but get your fucking act together, you guys. I want one guy to just come and say that out loud.
No, a lot of people say that. We don't take them seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, you have the IMF and shit like that. But obviously those are other different types of institutions. But you have a lot of people who say that, yeah. It's not a big deal. But of course, India has the balls to now say, how can the US say this? Have you looked at your own poverty? Look at fucking after Hurricane Katrina, you take care of your black people. No, you know what disappointed me about that episode? They had to do a Dabbawala sequence. No?
Of course
Everyone
they had
will
to.
fucking come to
Of
Bombay
course
and do a
they had
Dabbawala
To
sequence.
be fair, that was a good fuck. That was
a funny sequence.
It was a funny sequence.
That was a funny
really
sequence.
funny.
It was
Just
not
to
bad.
watch Jeremy take out his dicky और दाल वगैरह spill हो रहा है वहाँ पे and all these डब्बा वाला से coming से चुतिया क्या किया तूने this that and all शर्मा जी डांटेंगे मेरे को भोजड़ी के क्या है ये this that and all.
Dude, it was the only. I think it was outside Churchgate. It was the only episode. It was the only Top Gear special ever where you have like 50 people who don't know who the fuck these people are. But yeah, shooting हो रही है.
Shooting हो रही है, खड़े हो रहे हैं.
पीछे फोटो आ जाएगी.
Yeah.
पीछे लोग फोन कर रहे हैं पीछे NDTV देखना मैं शायद 8:30 पे जाऊंगा शाम को शायद देख लेना.
And there's always that like I've noticed whenever you're shooting on Indian streets, no matter who the person is, if it's an extra, even if they're in it for a second, भैया ये TV पे कब आ रही है? So I just want to know if those people fucking went up to these British producers when it's coming on TV.
Yeah. But do you think they even remember BBC?
I don't think so. They do. They must be like ऐसे colors के बाजू में आती है कौन सी है BBC? क्या है मैं Star Plus और colors लगाऊं तो उनके बीच में किधर आ जाएगी क्या? All right. So, anyways, that's it for that. Let's move on. What's the next agenda on hand? Right. So, since Mr. Khamba, you also are a comic.
Oh well, no, I don't think a lot of people will believe that. But
नहीं यार तू आजकल funny नहीं है यार क्या करेगा?
हाँ यार, it's not. Yeah, the thing's not working out, man.
So one of the things that me and Khamba both decided was that when we're going to do this podcast is we are also going to talk a lot about this. Hopefully, talk a lot about the scene and actually get people who are doing great shit on the scene to come and talk. And one of our first guests today is a good friend of mine. Is doing great stuff for the scene.
Absolutely.
His name is Mr. Karan Talwar, who runs this super property. Yay!
Yeah,
Who runs
Karan
this
Talwar is here.
Hello.
He runs this super
Who is
property.
stoned as shit, by the way.
That's rubbish.
No, he's very professional. He's actually wearing pants and a fucking suit and shit.
You'll never believe that this fucker is stoned, even though his property is called Shits and Giggles. that's really unbelievable.
What,
So,
the
yeah,
name?
no-
The name's unbelievable?
I think the name's quite funny. I
Actually,
love
how did you come up with the name of the property?
Shits and Giggles.
The name actually comes from a movie called Beer Fest.
I actually have
I've
seen that
I've
movie.
I've
They
seen
have
Beer
the
Fest.
beer tavern.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all shits
The
and
beer,
giggles.
the beer is called Shits and the tavern is
It's
called
called
Shits and
Giggles.
Giggles.
Ah,
Yeah, Shits and
lovely,
Giggles.
lovely. I think it's a great name.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic name.
Yeah. I'm gonna make this promo because nobody can pronounce it. But
Huh.
I'm just gonna have the name on a billboard. I'm gonna go to National College or some shit. And I'm just gonna
Hey,
like,
fucker,
say the name. Say the name. Hey, Shitski.
Yeah, but actually that's true. There's a lot of times that happened like with friends because I've gigged with him for a couple of times. And a lot of people like, Acha, so what are you doing that
Shits and Giggles, like it sounds German.
No. Like the last one in November was at the Taj, okay? So everybody wants to. So what's that? Shh. Arey Taj wala, yaar, Taj wala. Nobody can pronounce the name.
No, what's funny? I was doing a gig recently at the store, and Rajneesh was there, Rajneesh Kapoor, and he said, "I refuse to say that name." It's like that. I refuse to say that name.
Which, if any of you know Rajneesh, you'll know exactly why that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but if you don't, then missed out.
it's not.
Damn. Okay, so but let's move on to the questions again. When did you decide to create this property and why?
Started doing open mics about a year and a half ago, and there was just one a month. That was the Bombay Electric Project one. That was the only one, and did like these small spots at the open store at the comedy store, open spots, but. That's it. There was nothing else going on as far as comedy was concerned. Tanmay, you were doing some stuff, but there's a handful of people, 5 people doing any comedy. And
Yeah, very limited.
little.
Very limited, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go up to bars and tell them, hey, I'm going to invite all the open micers, get them all together. We'll do a show for you. Yeah.
But how easy was it for you to like convince bars and?
Luckily I knew someone at Tian, so Tian was easy. And then I just went into Zenzi, met the owner. He was cool about it, and it was actually pretty easy to get started. And so we did one show at Tian and one show.
And the
at
accent
Zenzi.
obviously helps.
The accent.
Your accent, man.
The American accent.
The American accent. Hey, I'm doing this comedy, man. I'm doing comedy.
Yo, boys. Shut up.
What the fuck is that accent?
Yeah.
What
The
is that
southern drive my pickup truck. Yo. I live in Texas, man.
No, but it was easy. So then it wasn't a problem for you to be able to get like spots and stuff.
No, and there was a lot of people who were like dying to do comedy. They just wanted a stage, wanted a mic. That was the best part. That was the easiest part, to getting people on stage. Like literally, how many times I've said it's full to you, Tanmay.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because people are like lining
That's
up.
the only thing you've told me, bastard.
8th Feb. Fuck, I just told him 8th Feb.
No, but okay. So let's go from that. So do you think, for example, from what it was now, have other bars started approaching you themselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has that been a
Yes.
progression?
Yeah.
There are a lot of bars. There's a lot of interest. Everybody wants to do it. Honestly.
How have you personally progressed, you think, as a comic? Because now you're doing the store, now you're going to do local heroes pretty soon. How has like it been for you from doing open mics to the stage where you're at now?
Let's say I've improved, of course. I've improved.
Everybody has. It's
yeah,
something
sure,
for
sure,
everyone.
of course.
But it's like honestly night and day from where I've come in the last year or so. Like this going on stage and talking to people you don't know is one of the scariest things for most people. It takes time. Some people takes no time. Like Varun Thakur, man, that guy just goes on and rips it.
Yeah.
But other people like it took some time for me to slow down and just learn those
Because
basics.
people couldn't get your accent that easily.
Yes, it was my accent that was the issue. But no, it's been amazing, and yeah, it's given me a great platform to like keep doing it, keep getting better. Working at it.
Have you seen other comics improve or change over this
I'm
period
sure,
as well?
Because Karan's one guy who's probably seen the most number of comics,
most number of comics
on a very regular basis.
Because not just outside, but also
Yeah.
who've gone through his platform.
His platform,
So
yeah,
a very
yeah.
unique position to be in.
I think I've seen I gotta say the one guy I've seen who's good to like awesome was Anubhav Pal. Is Anubhav Pal.
Oh, I think it's one of the best
I think
comics.
one of
Probably the
my
best
favorite
comic,
comics
probably,
ever.
When I saw him at the open mic, when he was the first one at the Comedy Store, and,
Yeah.
and then I saw him recently, like
Yeah.
night and day, man. It's amazing.
He's fantastic.
Just-
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's like setting some benchmarks as far as what you can do.
There is somebody
improvement.
who actually did the Shits and Giggles, went through the Shits and Giggles platform, man. Like you are constantly gigging with who all are you gigging with? Can you just mention?
Yeah, who all's in the shit?
Who all's in the
crew now?
Shits and
Oh,
Giggles
there's
crew?
quite a few names. There's Varun Thakur,
Varun Thakur,
Bridge Bhakta.
Varun Thakur is IR Baboon on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge is a bridge too far. Karan, so what benchmarks or what targets do you have? Any targets set for yourself in terms of where you want to take Shits and Giggles as a property and where you want to go as a personal comic, like individually?
Well, I mean, that's a good question because honestly, I see trouble in the future for stand-up as it grows because
Why?
Because at some point, stand-up is going to clash with mainstream. Stand-up is not mainstream right now.
Absolutely not. I
Absolutely
agree.
not. Yeah.
So we're gonna grow. We're gonna grow. There's no. It's just it has to happen. People need alternative entertainment. It's just you go to the movies, you go to a nightclub. What else are you doing? There's nothing else to do.
और वो थे बाबा तलवार की कहानी.
No, but it's actually true.
But it's important for a stand-up to do comedy that he or she like feels about.
course, of course, of course.
And sometimes like if you're talking about things that that are specific.
Of course.
Sure, it won't may not reach a mass audience, but I think that's important. You do things that you actually feel about instead of doing it for the.
Yeah, because it's one of the few spaces left which you can even
Which you
actually,
can actually say,
do it.
yeah.
Actually, Karan, I want to ask you just more personal question in terms of your comedy thing. Which is can you stop yawning, Tanmay? Come on, man. This is third yawn now. It's
Fucking
ridiculous.
1 in the morning. Sorry.
Which is the best, for example, gig you think you've had? Which is the best place you've liked to play, and which is the worst fucking experience you've had? Because everybody had like a horror story in terms of how bad a gig has gone and shit.
The best one.
Karan saying so long. There have been so many, Karan.
The best one, yeah, there've been lots of good ones, there's been lots of bad ones. I think the best one was the one where we gigged with actually Khamba at Ontos, where where this chick, we were doing our show and like there was this table in the middle of the venue who just would not shut up. They just kept on going, and
I
they
heard this. I heard
and they
about
started like sort of an argument started with all of us comics, one by one, and we got to Khamba. Khamba gets on stage and he starts ripping into them, and things just go from bad to worse. And it was the craziest night. We ended up on stage. I think
by the end of it, three of us was just so drunk we were stealing the mic from each other, saying, "Hey, मैं joke सुनाता हूँ ना, मैं joke सुनाता हूँ ना, मैं बताता हूँ तेरे को." ये वो funny.
Khamba basically went nationalist on their ass, going like, ऐसे कोई करते देश ऐसे बदलेगा कोई.
Fuck off, she was fucking around and somebody had to say that shit. No, but it was a fun show.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
Which is the worst gig, like in terms of where you've been like, what the fuck?
the worst gig was pretty much all the private gigs.
Well, like you mean corporate shows?
The corporate shows. I think the worst one was like the wedding. This where
man, you did a wedding.
So like the Akshay Kumar of comedy, man.
Actually, I did a wedding which was okay because they were all drunk. This was actually someone's birthday in Pune.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was really lame. Everybody was just like, hello, how are you? Kaise ho? Nobody was even paying attention to us. And it's doing comedy, that is the hardest thing. like to
When
do-
nobody paying attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you have 3 people looking at you and they want to kind of look away, you know, you're really and
But that's the daily for me. Like,
Good scene. But did they pay well?
yeah, I paid really well. Which
That's
is
all
exactly
that matters. Then I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy an iPad at the end of fuck all. Okay.
Right. So just before we wrap up, Karan, quick plug-in. When's the next Shits and Giggles happening?
The next Shits and Giggles show is at Bistro Grill on February 25th. We got Khamba right here.
Woohoo.
Varun Grover. We got Sapan Varma. I'll be there, and Varun Thakur.
So that'll be a fun
awesome.
show. So
That's
all of
awesome.
you guys who are listening, come to that.
Hopefully this podcast will be out before that.
Of course it will. We'll just edit it in.
Yeah,
Bistro Grill, Feb 25th.
Awesome.
Go for that. And I'm going to do my own plug-in. Weird Ass show at the Mehboob studio, recording studio. All of Weird Ass is there. So please come watch that. Anything else? Any more shows?
No, that's it. We will like to thank Karan Talwar for coming in such late night for recording this
Yes.
segment
And
with
under
us.
such severe...
You guys are amazing hosts, by the way. I enjoyed my time.
But we will do a much longer interview with and go more in depth into the state of comedy. We'll do a talking funny Indian comics version, sitting on a cock.
By the way, Khamba and I are sharing the same mic, which is why.
Yeah, just both
There's
of us
an
are gonna have
awkward-
TV by the end.
There's that awkward moment, by the way, where every time Khamba and Karan laugh, I'm just waiting like their lips will touch.
Okay.
So yeah, see you guys.
So yeah, see you. Basically.
Yeah, see you guys.
See you guys
And
on that gay note. Bye bye.
And thanks for tuning in.
thanks for tuning in. And cue music. This podcast was recorded at Ion Day Studio. Check him out on Facebook at Medico Studios. Check him out on Facebook. See you guys next time.